पैसा है लेकिन डर डर के इनकम टैक्स वाला आ जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, कल ये कैलामिटी आ जाएगी, कंपटीशन आ जाएगा, स्टार्टअप फाउंडर कुछ भी हो सकता है.
Right.
Final, the last 12th richness which he mentions is money in the bank.
Oh, that is at the last.
That's the last. I don't need a coach or a mentor. I know everything. I can do it on my own. So my left brain, rational brain was very strong. So that's the biggest hurdle. And we get into our knowing zone, and the knowing gap starts to happen.
What's up, everyone? This is Sahil here, and welcome to the Sahil Sahgal Show, where I'm gonna be interviewing some crazy entrepreneurs out there who started from scratch with no experience, resources, and connections, and then later on became unstoppable and dominating figures in their respective businesses. We're gonna dive deep into the mindset of these super successful entrepreneurs to find out how they did it and how you can model it too. It's time to pick their brains and uncover all the strategies and tactics which these entrepreneurs use to scale their businesses from nowhere to multiple 6, 7, and 8 figures. Welcome to the Sahil Sahgal Show.
Today we have a really special guest. Now we are shooting this episode in India, Delhi, India. I'm at this conference event and I met a person who has impacted more than 50,000 lives. He has coached more than 50,000 people. He's a CEO and founder of Think and Grow Rich Academy in India, who's having a sole licensing in India. He has done his executive education from IIM Ahmedabad and has been a ranked CA as well. So without any further ado, I want you to welcome Sidharth Shah on our show today. Welcome, Sidharth.
Thank you so much, Sahil. Thank you for having me here.
It's a pleasure and honor to have you. And
Likewise.
it's my pleasure to meet you today here. Glad I was able to make it.
Yes.
And we are here. So I want to start with the journey. You have gone through Think and Grow Rich. Yeah. This thing, of course, would have impacted your life in a good way. When was the moment for you or in your life when you encounter Think and Grow Rich?
Yeah, so it's an interesting question because I read Think and Grow Rich in my first year MBA in NMIMS, and I was like recommended book by everyone. I was reading several books and everyone said you should read Think and Grow Rich. So I think what's so special about this, let me also grab a copy. And at that time, the pocket money was only so much that I could afford the 100 rupees pocket edition of Think and Grow Rich. So that was the first encounter of reading Think and Grow Rich. And I just read the book. And I just kept it in my whatever mini library which we had got at that time. I said, oh, I have read Think and Grow Rich. So I know what is Think and Grow Rich. So I didn't know Think and Grow Rich, but that was my first encounter in my first year MBA.
Right. Yeah. I think it has worked. In my journey as well, I know I go to events, sometimes people are like, okay, you must read this Think and Grow Rich. And that's what you shared even.
Yes.
So that happened to me, same story. So implementation wise, now you have this book and it was sitting there, but आपने उसको implement नहीं किया, या आपने एक बार read करके छोड़ दिया. And that is the most of the time the problem with people as well. They read the book for the sake of कि मैंने book पढ़ ली. But if the implementation is not there, there is no point of reading even 10 books, 100 books or whatever you read.
Bang on.
So when was the time when you started implementing that Think and Grow Rich?
Yeah, so the timing happened when things at the age of 40 in 2016, when there was some situation in my life where I had to take big, tough decisions, courageous decisions. And my family business was dying, and my papa was on the deathbed. Even he was dying, he was in coma. And mother was aging 2 teenage boys. And I was at the crossroads that what should I do next now? Should I pursue a chartered accountant practice? Should I pursue a corporate job, MBA? Or should I really trust myself and do what is the real purpose, my calling? And that was the time when I started that, okay, hey, these principles of Think and Grow Rich have really made a big difference in my life. I've bounced back. I've been able to do everything which I've been able to do using these principles of Think and Grow Rich. So at that time, I took that call of going to the US and getting the license for India. And I'll share further my story. But coming to your first part of the question, which was about implementation,
right,
and not just reading the book, I've got this beautiful analogy that we read books and we go to attend training programs. It's good to attend training programs. It's good to read the books also. But it's like, let's say an example, an analogy that आप बहुत भूखे हो, बहुत भूख लगी है आपको, okay? And you're going to a restaurant and you have a menu card in front of you and you're reading the menu card. So you read the menu card, अरे इतनी अच्छी अच्छी dishes है, अरे यार मज़ा आएगा खाने के लिए. So you're reading the menu card is like reading the book.
Right.
And it's important. But just by reading the menu card, your hunger is not getting to get satisfied.
True.
So you call the waiter, jaldi mein kya aa sakta hai? ये order कर लो, फटाफट ये लेके आओ.
Right.
And then you're waiting for the food to come. And you're seeing other people on the other tables eating, अरे यार ये तो बहुत अच्छा खाना है यार. And you're also feeling कि मेरा भी खाना अच्छा आएगा. So दूसरे लोगों को खाना देखना, it's like when you're looking at all these testimonials of Think and Grow Rich. अरे this person has become a millionaire. Even right now, Grant Cardone is saying, Russell Brunson is saying, Think and Grow Rich. तो दूसरों की सक्सेस स्टोरीज देखना इज लाइक दूसरों को खाते देखना.
Right.
लेकिन मेरी भूख तो मिटेगी नहीं ना. But when the food comes and when you relish that food, जब भी आप खाना खाते हो तभी भूख मिटती है. तो थिंक एंड ग्रो रिच को इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे तभी वो सक्सेस मिलेगा. I think that's the beautiful way of looking at it.
Right.
How we can
I
see
liked
this.
it. How old were you at that time?
I was 40
Okay.
in 2016.
That was the time when you bought the book, or that's the time when you
No,
were
I bought the book when I was 23. कुछ नहीं किया मैंने.
17 साल के लिए वो बुक आपके कबड़ में पड़ी रही.
बस. And see, as a CA MBA topper ranker,
Right.
you feel that ना कि यार I know everything, man. I don't need any support system, etc. So it was the biggest blind spot, and that's what the logical brain will tell us कि यार मुझे किसी की ज़रूरत नहीं है. I don't need a coach or a mentor. I know everything. I can do it on my own. So my left brain, rational brain, was very strong. So that's the biggest hurdle, and we get into our knowing zone, and then knowing gap starts to happen.
Right.
So फिर experiences ने सिखाया कि नहीं ये गलतियाँ मत कर. Again thinking रोज को follow किया कि कुछ principles, decision making, persistence कुछ follow किया. So I connected my dots कि हमेशा जब भी मैं bounce back हुआ हूँ कोई ना कोई प्रिंसिपल ऑफ थिंक एंड ग्रो जिसने मुझे हेल्प किया है.
Right.
तभी मैंने डिसीजन लिया कि मुझे इसको बहुत बेहतरीन तरीके से स्टडी करना है, प्रोफेशनल तरीके से स्टडी करना है. एंड देन आई वेंट टू द यूएस एंड द रेस्ट इज हिस्ट्री.
And when like TGR लोगों को सबको पता है mostly is like it's more of a as a book.
Yeah.
But what more according to you it is outside the book? How you think it as okay ये सिर्फ एक book नहीं है. इसमें what exactly you think else is there? What kind of world is there?
I think it's a very relevant question, Sahil, and thank you for asking this question because most people think it's just a book, man. There are several books, और एक self help book, और एक positive thinking motivation book हम ले लेंगे. It's not about that. I've been studying and reading Think and Grow Rich every single day since last more than 15 years now. And every time when I study the book, I find something different. So I don't say I'm a master of Think and Grow Rich. I'm just a master student learning. And to answer your question specifically, this book is not a book. It's a way of living. It's the way of living your life. And money, पैसा तो बहुत आएगा. Money in the bank, कचिंग पैसा बहुत attract करेंगे आप. वो तो होने वाला है. But you'll be a better person. You'll have that peace, that prosperity, that happiness, that sense of fulfillment and accomplishment. That is what is Think and Grow Rich. जीने का तरीका है Think and Grow Rich.
I have a follow-up question coming. So,
Yeah.
लोग think and grow rich ना पढ़ के or either not being a part of their world, what are they missing out on? You can talk about 3 things, 5 things, whatever.
I think number one thing which they are missing out is not tapping their fullest potential. They don't know what they are capable of. They really don't. They are living a life which is mediocre life and chasing something which they don't know that's your true calling. So that's the biggest thing. That they don't know what is their true potential. Maybe they know now that, okay, that's my goal, that's the money which I want to earn, so many crores, etc. But then they are missing out on that smoothness of enjoying that journey. Success is a journey, it's not a destination.
Right.
So they're not living the life every single day in pursuing that dream which they want to pursue. So they are missing out. And thirdly, the most important thing is Think and Grow Rich is more about your spiritual aspects, where you really start to look at your way of being as a person, that who you are. And then when you connect with that higher purpose, then all your materialistic things, जो नया iPhone 16 लेना है, नई गाड़ी लेनी है, मुझे ये award चाहिए, वो सब कुछ आसानी से आ जाएगा. I think that's what the biggest thing which you're missing out, the top 3 things.
Right. And in that perspective, like even I was one of them who was like, अरे यार सोच के कैसे तुम rich बन जाओगे? Like that's the title itself. It signifies you think and then you grow rich.
Yeah.
I have a 2-part question over there. उन लोगों के लिए those people who think like okay सोच के थोड़ी मैं अमीर बन जाऊंगा या मैं बोल के okay money comes to me or life is easy or everything is solved and all. Not every problem gonna solve.
Yeah.
So first part of the question is this: what exactly you want to say to those people who are like okay सिर्फ सोच से मैं rich नहीं हो सकता?
Absolutely, it's a very relevant question. And so I also was thinking कि कैसे यार सोचो और अमीर बनो. Thought, think and grow rich. How is it possible, man? So when I studied, not just read Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill also mentions on this point. And he mentions in the first chapter itself, in the introduction chapter itself, that for those of you who say that how can you merely start to think and grow rich, you need to understand that you have to have an open mind. Because if you don't have an open mind, then whatever is going to be discussed further on, all the 13 steps to riches, they're never going to make any sense to you. And if you think that whatever you are doing is getting you the results, check your bank balance. And then you'll see, Arey yaar, I'm doing all my own, everything, sab kuch main kar raha hu. You check your results. Your results will never lie.
That's a reality check.
That's a reality check.
Right.
So have an open mind, and then you see that what is the essence of Think and Grow Rich. And if you look at the entire context of Think and Grow Rich, I mean, we read it every single day in our community. We have 21 days, same chapter ko hum baar padhte hain. And we've got clubs from morning till night. And at that moment, we realized that the word think is repeated 56 times in the book Think and Grow Rich. Whereas the word action is repeated 89 times in the book Think and Grow Rich. Think सिर्फ 56 times है, लेकिन action 89 times है.
It's almost double.
तो अगर आप देखो एसेंस क्या बोल रहे हैं नेपोलियन हिल,
Right.
कि एक्शन एक्शन मैसिव कंसिस्टेंट एक्शंस,
Right.
एंड जो भी आप सोचोगे वो होने ही वाला है. You're going to manifest that.
Right. Actions are something which are missing.
Absolutely.
What we just discussed,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
people don't implement.
Yeah.
They just go through the stuff or
Yes.
read through that.
Yes.
So second part of the question was, what does that richness mean to you?
Oh wow.
that.
I think again I go to my mentors, my guru Napoleon Hill, when he mentioned about richness. So there are actually 12 different riches of life. And he mentions this in his beautiful book, The Master Key to Riches. And most people don't understand that 12 riches of life. But if you look at your life from a different perspective with these 12 riches of life, when you rank them, you'll have a real balanced life. You'll have that work-life balance. So the number one richness, let me give you a few of them right now.
Sure.
The number one richness which heads the list, which is what Napoleon Hill says, is having a positive mental attitude.
Right.
Your attitude is the number one richness. No matter how much money you have got, crores in the bank.
Right.
But if your attitude sulks, तो क्या यार इतना पैसा क्या काम का इसका? Attitude ऐसी है. That's the number one richness. Then we have sound health. Health is wealth, we say. But how many times we are neglecting junk food, खाते हैं McDonald's burger, ये वो खा लो, कर लो. We don't take care of our health.
Right.
But what's the point in having all the money in the bank if you don't have that health? That's the second one. Third is freedom from fear. पैसा है लेकिन डर डर के इनकम टैक्स वाला आ जाएगा, ये हो जाएगा, कल ये कैलामिटी आ जाएगी, कंपटीशन आ जाएगा, स्टार्टअप फाउंडर कुछ भी हो सकता है.
Right.
अगर फियर्स को निकाल नहीं दिया तो क्या मतलब उतने पैसे का. So there are ऐसे अलग अलग 12 riches of life है. And final, the last 12th richness which he mentions is money in the bank.
Oh, that is at the last.
That's the last.
Usually people consider it as कि मेरे को पैसे पहले कमाने हैं, and then other things will
हाँ,
come.
but वो पैसे
Fitness
कमाने
and all.
हैं. Or we'll start with that only.
Right.
But if you understand the context of what is richness, what is true richness, so we have hope for the future achievement, we have got discipline, we have got a mastermind alliance, ऐसे अलग अलग 12 riches of life है.
Right.
अगर उसको समझेंगे आप और अपने जहन में लाएंगे,
Yeah.
अरे तो पैसा बहुत आएगा. प्रॉब्लम क्या है, लोगों को डायरेक्ट 12 पे जाना है.
Exactly.
समझना ही कि पहले 11 क्या है, तो फिर कहाँ प्रॉब्लम ही प्रॉब्लम है.
So it's like ladder है, step 1 से
Yeah.
12 तक.
Yeah.
12 पे जाने के लिए 11 steps
Exactly.
cross करने पड़ेंगे.
Yeah.
Follow-up question again coming.
Yeah.
For our younger generation, especially the Gen Z generation or the people who wants to get stuff fast.
Yes.
एक shortcut चाहिए सबको.
बिल्कुल.
सक्सेस फास्ट चाहिए, फॉलोअर्स फास्ट चाहिए, सब्सक्राइबर्स, मेरा एक दिन में बिजनेस खड़ा हो जाए, सब कुछ फास्ट चाहिए. If we have to tell them 3 or 5 things, these are the things you should focus at your young age, rather than worrying about other parts. They will get eventually built, or if you focus on these things, they will get built up. What are those things you would mention?
I completely resonate your question, and सबको shortcut चाहिए, especially youngsters को तो चाहिए, but everybody wants shortcuts in life.
Right.
So I can give you my example from my family. I'm a proud father of 2 boys. My elder one is 22, younger one is 19 now. And I mean, for the Gen Z members who are watching this and audience are watching, they can just type my elder son's name, Agastya Shah, on Google.
Okay.
And you'll find him. Okay, he's a content creator, he's an influencer, he's done good for himself. And he got these principles of Think and Grow Rich by ghost learning during COVID times when I was doing webinars after webinars at home, sitting at home. And he edited my entire curriculum of Think and Grow Rich. This is a reality which has been sold to thousands of mentees in the mastermind. But Agastya Shah edited those principles, the videos. So those principles went deep down in the subconscious और फास्ट ट्रैक रिजल्ट्स आ गए. Touchwood, he's worked hard for himself. I'm not taking the entire credit, but the principles definitely made a big difference in a Gen Z's life. So if my son Agastya can do this at the age of 17 and he can become the Agastya Shah, I think anybody can do this. Shortcut है आपके
That's
पास.
a good shortcut.
It's a good shortcut.
Was it intentional?
It was not intentional.
Not intentional.
Not at all intentional, my dear friend. And that is what the entire connection happens. That you start something with one intention,
Right.
but when there's a higher purpose. And now I realize that why did I get the license for India?
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and then August edited the videos, and now we can connect the dots backwards.
Right.
But I mean, this is really giving goosebumps right now. It's not that he's
I can
not worked
imagine.
hard for himself, he's worked hard. But somewhere or the other, the principles definitely help. So Gen Z's के लिए अगर जानना है, simple चीज पूछता हूँ. Don't trust Think and Grow Rich, don't trust anybody else. Trust your instinct. Have the clarity of thought कि मुझे ये चीज करनी है. And then you start to do something more and better than anybody around you. Just do something more and better, which is useful, unexpected.
Right.
Something more. Keep on adding value. Problem क्या है? People, when they give value, they're focusing on what am I getting.
Yes.
And when you give
Selfish.
with that context, my dear friend, that's not giving. That's actually trading.
Right.
And you're not understanding the natural law of give and take. But when you give, you just give. Because if you understand the natural law, जब भी आप देते हो ना, तो आना ही आना है.
Right.
और कैसे आएगा आपको पता नहीं है. बस ये सिंपल चीज़ें फॉलो करिए तो देखिए कैसे लाइफ में फास्ट ट्रैक रिजल्ट्स आएंगे आपके.
I think हम ये childhood से भी सुनते आ रहे हैं, like when you give you get 10 times for 100 times, 1000 times.
Yeah.
But not everybody is a giver. Not everybody even,
Yeah.
just like you mentioned, the intention is different.
Yeah.
सबको अपना मतलब पूरा करना है, सबको अपना वो
हाँ.
pocket
What's in
भरनी
it
है.
for me kind of.
What is in it for
Yeah,
me?
no.
And that what the problem is when you
Yeah.
change that thing to what value I can add to
Yeah.
someone else. Eventually, as a byproduct, you will get your credit back or your stuff back, which you truly deserve. You have coached more than 50,000 people now, just because we are talking about this generation
Yeah.
and you shared your son's story. So, who do you see the maximum people are in your circle? Like say, इतने percentage लोग
हाँ.
इतने से इतने age के
Yeah.
आपने देखे coach किए हैं या in your community. What is that percentage?
So I would say in terms of age factor, I mean, age is just a number, but the youngest has been 12 years old, who has been impacted by the principles of Think and Grow Rich. And they were introduced to Think and Grow Rich because their parents got impacted and they introduced this to their kids so that you please join in. And the in terms of seniority, it has been more than beyond 80 years also. People who want to start their second innings, they are there in the mastermind of Think and Grow Rich.
Right.
And these principles will work for anyone. Why is that? Because these are natural laws principles.
Right.
And this will work on a human being.
Right.
So it's not that I'm in the corporate world or maybe I'm a professional or I'm a homemaker, I'm a student, I'm a chartered accountant or I'm a business owner, I'm a startup. ऐसा है ही नहीं इसमें. These principles are meant for human beings.
Right.
So as long as you are ready to have an open mind, and as Napoleon Hill mentions in his famous quote, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. तो whatever जो भी आपको चाहिए, health चाहिए, relationships चाहिए, career, business, आपके लिए काम करेगा, क्यों नहीं करेगा?
Like book was written in 1938, I think.
37, 38. You're right.
37,
Yeah,
38.
yeah.
That is like almost 87, 88
Yeah,
years.
absolutely.
There. Have you seen anything change? Like principles were written at that time.
Yeah.
How do you see they're still applicable at 2024 or in this younger in this generation?
Absolutely. So this is the beauty of this. After Think and Grow Rich, and I respect all the authors, I respect all the good books which have come in, but these books would have come and gone. But if you look at Think and Grow Rich, why it is still the bestseller in self-help category? Why people still resonate with Think and Grow Rich? Why does Russell Brunson go to Napoleon Hill Foundation, get the archives being there? Why does Grant Cardone gives a testimonial for Think and Grow Rich? Why does Tony Robbins? You name it, Jack Canfield. I can keep on going, Oprah Winfrey. These principles are applicable more so in the 21st century because they are based on natural laws. It is based on 25,000 years of research done by Napoleon Hill, 500 of the most successful men, and every person's experience of 50 years.
Right.
Likes of Henry Ford, Alexander Graham Bell, John D. Rockefeller, John Wanamaker, King Gillette, Wright brothers, इन सभी को रिसर्च किया है. और ये एक जन का है ही नहीं फॉर्मूला. ये 50,000 साल 25,000 years का एक्सपीरियंस का निचोड़ है इसमें. तो काम करेगा ना, क्यों नहीं करेगा?
Right.
It's like how old is the Gita? Still applicable?
Right.
How old is the Quran? How old is the Bible? But फिर भी applicable तो है ना. It's like that.
It's more about principles
Yeah,
which are
it's
still
principle,
applicable, and
yeah.
then that doesn't change.
It doesn't change.
Marketing can change,
Yeah, the packaging
business
can
change,
change.
the offers,
Yeah.
everything can change, but not that thing. Principle. And in that, like now we were talking about the clients or students you have coached, 50,000 people and all. When they come to your world, I'm curious to know that part, that do they come it as like मुझे सक्सेस चाहिए इसमें? अब सक्सेस किसी के लिए अलग डेफिनेशन है, किसी और के लिए अलग है. आपने डिफरेंट डिफरेंट तरह के सक्सेसेस स्टूडेंट्स में कैसे देखे हैं या किस तरह से ऑब्जर्व किए? ओके, एंड देन यू हैव इवन फिक्स देम. यू आर लाइक ओके, दिस इज, यू आर नॉट थिंकिंग इन अ राइट वे, एज वी वर डिस्कसिंग दैट मनी मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम कम्स एज द पार्ट ऑफ सक्सेस. आपने किस तरह से कोई सिचुएशन ऐसी आपने देखा हो क्लाइंट के साथ, आपने फिक्स किया हो, लाइक दिस 12 ईयर यंगर गाय यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, किड दैट यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, ऐसा कोई ऐसी स्टोरी हो जिससे?
Absolutely. I think it's a good question, and it's a very relevant question, because I think 98% people, Sahil, don't know what is success. And they are just programmed in a wrong direction. And I got this beautiful definition of success, which I consider by far the best definition of success, which I'm sure I would like to share to the audience also, which can make them successful in this podcast in the next 2 minutes. That's the power. That's the power. Whatever be their bank balance, whatever be their situation in the relationships, whatever be their career goal, जो भी है, but in the next 2 minutes, if this definition is resonating with them, I can make them a success. ये इतना बेहतरीन definition है. And I give credit to my mentor, the late Earl Nightingale, who coined this definition. Of course, Earl Nightingale's Strangest Secret, everybody knows about that. He got inspired from Think and Grow Rich. But this definition is 9 words. Okay. Earl Nightingale mentions success as follows: that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Okay. Now, many of you must have heard about this definition when you were listening to The Strangest Secret, etc. नहीं सुना तो मैं इसको break up करूँगा. क्यों ये इतना बेहतरीन definition है? There are 4 key parts. The first is progressive. Progressive का मतलब there is a progress. There is continuous improvement.
Right.
Because in life, if you're not growing, you're dying. तो निरंतरता से आप आगे बढ़ रहे हो, धीरे धीरे एक एक कदम. जर्नी ऑफ 1,000 miles begins with the first step. So there's progress. दूसरा कीवर्ड है रियलाइजेशन. थिंक एंड ग्रो रिच इज नॉट अबाउट होंगे कामयाब एक दिन. नो, अभी रियल रिजल्ट्स चाहिए, रियल मनी इन द बैंक चाहिए. आई वॉन्ट रियलिटी में रिजल्ट्स चाहिए. सो रियलाइजेशन होना चाहिए जो भी आपका गोल है. इट्स नॉट जस्ट अ ड्रीम और अ विश. थर्ड कीवर्ड इज वर्दी. चेज अ गोल with which you can really trade your life.
Right.
If that goal is worthy of you, your talent, your skill sets, then you should have that kind of a goal. Most people are not happy in a job which they hate, or maybe they are not happy in a business with customers परेशान कर. It's not worthy for them.
Right.
ऐसा गोल बनाओ which you can trade your life, पूरी जिंदगी दाव पे लगा सकते हो. That's worthy. And the fourth keyword is ideal. An ideal, Sahil, is an idea with which you have fallen in love. Do what you love what you do. I mean, I love what I'm doing. And that's where you convert your vocation into a vacation.
Right.
You do that, progressive realization of a worthy ideal, and you see that, yes, कि अभी मैं सक्सेस हूँ. अगर मेरा गोल फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम का है, लेकिन अगर मैं आज पैसे बचा रहा हूँ, इन्वेस्ट कर रहा हूँ वाइजली फॉर माई फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम, आई एम अ सक्सेस टुडे राइट नाउ, नॉट आफ्टर आई अचीव माई फाइनेंशियल फ्रीडम.
Right.
And when you get that definition ingrained in your subconscious, you get the feeling of success every moment. You attract everything required to get that success, and eventually you get that success. That is what is success. और अगर वो success के definition को जिएंगे, तो everybody is a success right now.
That's amazing. Yeah.
That's the what we do.
कोई इंटरेस्टिंग स्टोरी जिससे एक बार होता है ना कि ओके द क्लाइंट केम एंड यू आर लाइक अरे यार क्या सोच लेके आया. व्हाट इज द कॉमन पैटर्न मे बी यू हैव सीन इट, सो दैट पीपल हु आर हियरिंग दिस दे आर लाइक हाँ यार ये मैं गलत पैटर्न से पकड़ रहा हूँ इसको, ये चीज़ मेरे को नहीं करनी चाहिए.
All the time, every time. I mean, I'm not complaining or blaming, but yes, that's the way it is. That पहले तो देखते चलो सिद्धार्थ शाह पसंद है, बात करने का तरीका, बंदा जेन्युइन है, CMB है, रैंकर है, वैल्यू देगा. पैसा दे के मास्टरमाइंड में आ जाते हैं. सर पैसा दे दिया, अभी कल रिजल्ट. So that's the first thing, you know, कि instant results. That's the first hurdle which we need to understand. It's not magic.
Right.
I cannot do any magic over here. But this is a principle you have to follow and you'll get the results. Within 30 days, 60 days, you'll start to get results for sure. दूसरा problem क्या आता है? People don't know what to give to get something. पैसा बहुत कमाना है, लेकिन मैं करूँ क्या? कुछ नहीं.
Right.
अरे, so वो giving का context नहीं है, going the extra mile का context नहीं है. Efforts डालने का context नहीं है. And we're not to blame them, but we need to reprogram their belief systems. That you need to do something, take some massive actions, come outside your comfort zone, break your limiting beliefs, go out of the old patterns, and then you do those actions which you have not taken before. तभी वो नए results आते हैं.
Right.
तो वो एक resistance होता है, वो हम तोड़ते हैं with the system. We break the barrier of the comfort zone. और जैसे आपने नए action लिए, तो आने ही वाले results.
Right.
And varied stories you got across India. I mean, जम्मू से लेके कन्याकुमारी से, फिलोदी राजस्थान से लेके अगरतला ईस्ट, पूरे इंडिया से जुड़े हुए हैं, भारतवर्ष से जुड़े हुए हैं, और पूरा एक कारवा बना हुआ है, और हमारा एक ही मकसद है कि सभी का गोल अचीव होना चाहिए. दैट्स द पावर ऑफ मास्टरमाइंड. अकेले मैं नहीं कर सकता, पर ये सारे मास्टरमाइंड को मिलके हम कर रहे हैं.
Exactly. And Think and Grow Rich में mastermind की definition बड़ी powerful है वो. If you want to say that in one line.
Yeah.
For people who have not read it and
Absolutely.
all, which can, if you want to explain that.
Yeah,
a little.
Sahil, because you know why? People are just, I mean, blatantly using the word mastermind ऐसे ही.
Yes.
अरे I've got a mastermind. अरे मेरा mastermind है.
चार लोग इकट्ठे हो गए, मेरा mastermind हो गया.
But they don't know what is the true meaning of the mastermind.
Right.
Most people equate mastermind with teamwork. That's the biggest mistake. Teamwork is ordinary.
Right.
Mastermind is extraordinary. I'll give you the textbook definition of Napoleon Hill's mastermind. Okay. Napoleon Hill defines mastermind as follows. Mastermind is a combination of two or more minds, not people. वो teamwork है. Two or more minds coming together to achieve a common objective. एक ऐसा गठबंधन जो एक ही दिशा में एक ही गोल के प्रति काम करता है. तो अगर आपका मास्टरमाइंड फिजिकल भी प्रेजेंट नहीं है, यू कैन हैव एन इनविजिबल काउंसलर जो थिंक एंड ग्रो रिच की लास्ट स्टेप में है, एंड यू कैन हैव दैट पर्सन एज अ मास्टरमाइंड. योर रोल मॉडल कैन बी अ मास्टरमाइंड. द यूनिवर्स कैन बी द मास्टरमाइंड. सारी कायनात की शक्ति आपके साथ में करके यू कैन फॉर्म अ मास्टरमाइंड. शाहरुख खान बोलता है डायलॉग, पर बहुत रेलेवेंट डायलॉग है. इट्स थिंक एंड ग्रो रिच. ओम शांति में जो बोलते हैं, एब्सोल्युटली थिंक एंड ग्रो रिच.
Absolutely.
तो ये मास्टरमाइंड है. और मास्टरमाइंड में जब भी आप आएंगे तभी आपकी एनर्जी अलग लेवल पे जाएगी, और देखो फिर कैसे मैजिक होता है.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
awesome. Glad you shared this for all the viewers. You have a program called 30 Days Challenge where you coach people every morning and all. Who is it for? What is it that you do?
Yeah. So as promised, we'll give a gift to all the viewers on this
That would be
podcast.
amazing. Stick till the end if you want that free gift.
Yeah. So we have got a variety of programs, and we got free programs, we got paid programs, etc. Depending upon the context, the size of the goal, etc. So money should never be a challenge for you to understand this, but to really experience the power of Think and Grow Rich. That how can I actually apply this? Is this meant for me? I invite all the viewers on this podcast to come for our morning manifestation mastery challenge. It's for 30 days, and we generally have a subscription for this. But because you are there on Sahil's podcast, and we are giving a completely complimentary subscription for the first 30 days, there'll be a link on the description, and once you come in, and you'll be getting completely for 30 days free. And if you find this is relevant and we are genuine, and this is really making a difference in your mindset, in your psyche, you're moving towards your goals, then you can move forward and start your journey with us. So I would highly recommend that everybody should benefit from this, experience the power of Think and Grow Rich, and make this world a better place to live in.
Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you so much, Sidharth.
Most welcome.
And for people who are watching us, listening us, you already got a 30-day free trial complimentary program that you can join to dive deep into more about Think and Grow Rich, where you are not just thinking of it as a book only, where you are learning the more principles in depth with morning. And what can be more beautiful than starting a morning with something like this? So I will highly suggest you to all go sign up under the link. We will drop that link under the show notes or under the description. Go join, register right now so that you don't miss out that. It's a 30 days challenge conducted by Mr. Sidharth Shah. So thank you so much, sir,
Most welcome.
for being on our show.
Pleasure is
And
mine.
It's been a great show together. People who are watching and listening again will be coming up with another episode. Till then, take care. Stay tuned.